Mama, it's okay if we can't get the muffin. I'm not really hungry anyway. 4-year-old Juniper's voice was soft, mature beyond her years as she watched her mother's face pale at the cafe counter. 30-year-old Larkin Foster frantically searched her bag again, knowing the truth before she finished. Her wallet was gone, left on the kitchen counter in this morning's rush to get Juniper to daycare before her crucial job interview. "I'm so sorry," Larkin whispered to the barista, her cheeks burning. "I thought I had my wallet. I can come back." "It's covered." A deep voice came from behind her, and a man in an expensive suit stepped forward, placing cash on the counter before Larkin could protest. "Please, get whatever you both need." Larkin turned, mortification flooding through her. "I can't accept that. I'll pay you back. The stranger smiled gently, and something about his eyes, kind despite their sadness, made her pause. "You don't owe me anything. We've all forgotten our wallets. Consider it a kindness between strangers." He was already walking away when Juniper tugged Larkin's sleeve. "Mama, that man looks lonely, like you do sometimes." The observation struck Larkin silent. She glanced back, catching a glimpse of the stranger settling at a corner table, his shoulders carrying invisible weight despite his clearly expensive attire. 20 minutes later, Larkin sat in the gleaming lobby of Meridian Technologies, her carefully printed resume trembling slightly in her hands. She'd spent 3 years rebuilding after her husband's death, working minimum wage while raising Juniper alone. And this position, executive assistant to the CEO, represented everything she'd been working toward. When the receptionist called her name, Larkin stood, smoothed her thrift store blazer, and walked into the CEO's office. Then froze. The man behind the desk looked up with equal shock. It was him, the stranger from the cafe. "Ms. Foster," he said carefully, recovering his composure first. "Please, sit down. I'm Garrison Vale." Larkin's mind raced. She'd researched Garrison Vale extensively. Orphaned young, built his company from nothing, known for being brilliant but reclusive. His professional photo hadn't captured the exhaustion in his eyes, the loneliness Juniper had somehow spotted. "Mr. Vale, about the cafe," Mr. Vale began, mortified. "Is irrelevant to this interview," Garrison interrupted gently. "Though I am curious, were you rushing because of this appointment?" Larkin hesitated, then decided honesty was her only option. "Yes, my daughter needed to be dropped at daycare, and I was so focused on not being late that I left my wallet behind. I'm a single mother. Organization is usually my strength, but mornings are complicated." "Your daughter," something shifted in his expression. "The little girl who told me I looked lonely." Heat flooded Larkin's face. "I'm sorry, she's very perceptive sometimes." "She was right," Garrison said quietly. "I am lonely. Have been since my parents died 5 years ago. Built this company trying to fill that void, but..." He paused, seeming surprised by his own candor. "Why am I telling you this?" "Because sometimes strangers are easier to talk to than people who know our stories," Larkin replied softly, thinking of late nights confiding in fellow parents at playgrounds, sharing grief with other widows and support groups. The interview that followed was unlike any Larkin had experienced. They talked about organizational systems, yes, but also about managing grief while maintaining professionalism, about the guilt of being successful when loved ones didn't live to see it, about the weight of responsibility when people depend on you. "Your resume shows gaps," Garrison observed. 3 years working retail despite having a degree in business administration. Why? Larkin met his eyes steadily. "My husband died in an accident when Juniper was 1. I had no family support, no child care, crushing medical debt from his final months. Retail offered flexible hours while I rebuilt our life. I'm not ashamed of that time. It taught me resilience, empathy, how to solve problems with limited resources, skills I believe make me stronger for this position." Garrison was quiet for a long moment. Most candidates would hide those years, invent corporate positions to fill the gaps. I don't want a job built on pretense. I want to work for someone who values honesty and sees struggle as strength, not weakness. Even if that person forgot your wallet payment at a cafe? Garrison asked with a hint of warmth in his voice. Larkin smiled despite her nerves, especially then, because that person understands what it means to be human. 1 week later, Larkin received the job offer. Her first day, she arrived early, Garrison's coffee order memorized, his schedule organized, ready to prove herself. But what she found in her workspace stopped her. A framed note that read, "Kindness recognizes kindness. Welcome to the team. GV." Beside it sat a children's book about loneliness and friendship with a card for Juniper, who sees what adults often miss. Larkin's eyes burned with tears. She walked to Garrison's office, knocking softly. "The book," she began. "You didn't have to." "I wanted to," Garrison said simply. "Your daughter's observation at the cafe stayed with me all week. Most people don't notice loneliness. They see the suit, the title, the success. But she saw a person. I thought she might appreciate a story about how noticing others matters." Larkin's voice was thick. "Why did you really hire me? Was it the cafe?" Garrison considered carefully. "I hired you because you're overqualified for this position, because your problem solving is exceptional, and because you don't pretend struggle doesn't exist. But yes, the cafe mattered. Not because you needed help, but because of how you handled needing help. Without shame, just grace and determination to make it right. That's character money can't buy." He paused, then admitted quietly, "And because in 30 seconds of conversation with a stranger, you showed more genuine humanity than most people show in years. This company needs that. I need that." Months passed. Larkin became indispensable, not just organizing Garrison's schedule, but helping him reconnect with the humanity he'd lost building his empire. She suggested he eat lunch outside his office, reminded him employees' names and family details, encouraged him to lead with empathy rather than just efficiency. One afternoon, Juniper visited the office after daycare. She walked straight to Garrison's desk and asked solemnly, "Are you still lonely?" Garrison knelt to her level, his eyes soft. "Less lonely than I was. Your mama reminds me every day that success means nothing without connection, that being human, with all our forgotten wallets and complicated mornings, is what matters most." Juniper nodded seriously. "Mama says you're kind. She says the best people are the ones who help strangers without expecting anything back." "Your mama's right," Garrison replied. "She's the kindest person I know." Later, as Larkin prepared to leave, Garrison stopped her. "I need to tell you something. That day at the cafe, I wasn't there by accident. I'd been sitting in that coffee shop for an hour, trying to remember why I built this company, feeling like success had cost me everything that mattered. Then I saw you with Juniper, saw how you handled difficulty with such grace, and remembered what matters. You didn't just need help that morning. I needed to help, to remember I was human, not just a CEO." Larkin's throat tightened. "So we saved each other?" "In the best possible way," Garrison confirmed softly. Life has a way of connecting people exactly when they need each other most. A forgotten wallet, a stranger's kindness, a child's simple observation. Moments that seem like accidents, but feel like answered prayers. True character isn't revealed in success. It's revealed in how we handle struggle, how we accept help with grace, how we offer help without judgment, how we see past titles and circumstances to the human beneath. Sometimes the interview begins long before we walk into the office. It begins in how we treat strangers, handle hardship, maintain dignity when life gets complicated. Because the best opportunities aren't given to those who pretend to be perfect. They're given to those brave enough to be real. Kindness recognizes kindness. Humanity sees humanity. And sometimes all it takes is one person paying for a muffin to change two lives forever.
If this story touched your heart, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let's spread more stories of kindness and hope together.